There is one man that is at the bottom of every single question in Pokemon Horizons, one man that the story solely relies on, and that is Lucius. This dude is the biggest mystery in the series. Every time we see glimpses of him, it just gets me more curious to everything that he did. And with answers seemingly coming in episode 74, I think it's the perfect time to talk about Lucius and everything that we know about him. Lucius was first mentioned in episode 4 of Horizons when we met Roy and his ancient Pokeball. Roy heard stories of this legendary adventurer that travelled the world, and he aspired to be just like him. And from there it was history. The more the anime went on, the more that we learned about him. A lot of answers were given in episode 12, where we learn that the adventurer's name is Lucius, and that he travelled across the world with his 6 hero Pokemon. 6 powerful Pokemon companions who helped him along his journey. And damn, these 6 Pokemon aren't just your run-of-the-mill Pokemon, they are cool as hell, each of them having distinct personalities and a uniqueness to them. First we have a shiny Rayquaza, who is the main goal of Roy. Roy wants to hunt this Pokemon down and one day defeat and capture it. And then we have our Believer, who loves to take care of the planet and the Pokemon on it. We see it help restore a forest that was in ruin. We have the fiery Galarian Moltres that was one of the most thrilling debuts in the anime, as we see it completely tearing up this cave with its bright red flames. And then we have Lapras, battle hardened and covered in scars. Lapras was living with a bunch of pirate Pokemon, helping out the forgotten and hungry Pokemon on the seas. But also it did steal a bunch of food, so we can't forget that it's a literal thief. Then the most recent encounter we have Cleavor. So awesome to see this guy in the anime, a lone warrior with a passion for battling. We saw a flashback of Lucius freeing it from captivity after a mob of angry Hisui villagers were not happy with it. It can probably be pretty reckless, but under the guidance of Lucius, its strength was most likely used for good. And then the last Pokemon is Entei, who we don't know anything about yet, but I'm sure if it's like the others, it will be unique and give us some great moments. But these 6 Pokemon have been the main focus of our group, tracking them down and slowly revealing more about who Lucius is through his Pokemon. Why did he have these Pokemon, and what was his master plan? Lucius lived 100 years ago, and he was a part of the original group called the Explorers, alongside Gibeon and assumedly alongside another member called Ristal, and his main goal was to find a place called Rakua. There's plenty of mystery about Rakua itself, where I went into a bit more detail in my other video about Gibeon, so be sure to check that one out as well. But Lucius's purpose is more of a mystery because we haven't actually seen him in person, only in visions and in flashbacks. Presumably Lucius is dead, as it was 100 years ago. But of course Gibeon is still alive and kicking, so I think there is some sort of trick to immortality going on, and it's all to do with Rakua and the Raquium. I think whatever was found in Rakua caused a divide between Lucius and Gibeon. They are 2 sides of the same coin, but Lucius got all of the fame for his travels, he had all the books written about him, and he owned the 6 hero Pokemon. So I think there is way more pieces to this puzzle that we don't know about yet. Where does Terapagos fit into all of this? Another Pokemon that belonged to Lucius. We got a great vision of Lucius looking over the old Paldea region 100 years ago alongside Terapagos. And there's been mention of a great war that took place, which it seems like he was involved in. Maybe his 6 hero Pokemon were captured to help with this great war to try and save Paldea. There's just so many questions with him, and I can't wait to see more. I hope we get a whole backstory and flashbacks of what actually occurred. The main question I have is, the dude still alive? I personally don't think he is. I think he left behind his Pokemon and all these stories for someone to one day find. The 6 hero Pokemon have all been separated, waiting for the day when they are needed. Something is clearly going to go down at Rakua. I think Gibeon, on the other hand, is the anomaly. I think he managed to find a way to keep living, and he needs to go back to Rakua to maintain his life. Whereas Lucius was opposed to using this power, and that's probably why all of this started. This is just what I can predict, but there's still so many answers we need, and we could be getting a lot in episode 74. And the last thing I want to touch on, I think Liko is clearly a descendant of Lucius. She has his eyes, and she's following in his footsteps, collecting his old Pokemon on the way to Rakua. I think her destiny was to do this, and who knows, maybe all of this was a part of Lucius's grand plan all along. Gathering up the 6 heroes, finding Rakua and stopping Gibeon to bring about peace once again. We're truly blessed to be getting such a well written, tight knitted story, and I hope it all comes together nicely when the answers are all revealed. But that's it for now. Let me know what you think of Lucius, give me all your theories in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.